we're from the Beast of Revelation project. Well, actually, band probably. It's not really a project anymore because you have a full. We have a full lineup. I guess I get confused because I did the album, but not all live stuff. But hoping to do some live stuff. But anyway, yeah. So let's see. I don't know. Just to start things off, how did the idea come together? Like, I guess you and AJ just decided to, do a Doom project or something.
Yeah.
And
AJ asked me if I was interested in doing a Doom metal band with him, or project at that time.
yeah,
So he did send me a couple of riffs, and they were awesome. So I said, yeah, let's do it. And I went to the studio with just a click track and AJ's riffing.
oh, so you guys didn't even play
The
together?
album there.
Did you so the first stuff that you did was you just played to his click track on his guitar in the studio, so it wasn't like you did it together in the studio or anything.
No,
Oh,
I
cool.
was the only one in the studio.
Oh, okay, killer. I mean, it sounds killer. Couldn't even notice. It didn't. It sounded sounded like you guys were jamming out or whatever. So that's pretty awesome.
No, when I finished the recordings, AJ came to the studio and just see what's up and how things were going. But I was already finished. No, I do one more song, but it was just me sitting on a very small drum kit with a click track and only kite guitars from AJ. So I kept it very basic
Yeah, but
because we
that
had
bass.
we had to pay the studio ourselves.
Yeah, but that basic sound is perfect for the style. It's what it needs. It needs just some pounding drums.
Mhm.
So you were the right
Yeah,
guy
we
to
did
do
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's cool. And as far as was it? Because I know I toured a lot with AJ. He helped us out roadieing a couple times. One time when I was with Funerist, and other time with Incantation. Um, was it just his idea to decide to work with me, or how did that come about? Just curious, because I don't really even know how I got in there. I just know AJ asked me, and I was like, ah, cool.
How you get into the band?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
well, how'd
AJ
you
came up
decide
with
to-
you.
What's that?
He said, let's ask Jon from Incantation. And I said,
Simple as
yeah,
that.
yeah, right away. He said, yeah, let's ask him. But I thought you were very busy with Incantation and
It's
touring the
true.
world and stuff. So I was
Yeah.
like, no, maybe Jon doesn't have much time for it, but I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I know for myself, it was kind of like perfect timing for me because I really wanted to do a Doom project anyway, and I wanted to do just vocals. I just felt like it'd be nice to approach an album or approach a live situation in a different way than I do with Incan because I mean, it's great to play guitar and do vocals or whatnot, but it's nice to be able to do something where I'm able to just concentrate just on one aspect of it. And I knew that the music, I mean, I heard the music, so I knew the music was killer. So it wasn't like something where I had to concentrate on the actual riffing and writing. I was able to try to, oops, I think I lost you for a second.
Yeah.
There's a video, I don't know if the video's still there, but anyway, for me, it was just really a fun thing to do is to just hear killer music and be able to try to um, give it justice, I guess.
Yeah.
Is I gotta double check. I look like I lost you on the stream. I want to make sure you're still here. I can't see.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I hear you. I just don't see you as a split screen that I had here before. I don't see it on my thing. Let me just. Let me just double check here. I'm not exactly sure, but I think let me just ask here. I just asked in the chat room. And you said you can't see the chat room from your end, right?
No.
Okay, let me see here. Let me see. I got a couple of people say what's up. I'll try to show it in this. See if you can. Just let me know if you could see these posts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's like on the corner or whatever. Yeah, there's a couple people commented on some stuff. I'll just kind of go down and show you in case there's anything you want to comment on. We've been getting a lot of really great responses for the album. I know people really enjoy the fact that it's just total, old school death metal doom, kind of I guess no bullshit, which is nice
exactly.
because a lot of the doom bands sometimes go a little bit off track as far as just the barbaric death metal thing. They start to go a little more experimental, which is okay to some extent, but it's nice to hear something that's just like sounds like a caveman.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I think a lot of death metal bands or doom metal bands get very too melodic at times.
Yeah, I agree with you too. For me, it's metal needs to have that rough edge to it. If it's going to be done, especially for death metal. I mean, it shouldn't be nice sounding. It's supposed to.
No, it shows to be, it's supposed to be some kind of audio from the grave or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not it's not supposed to be like crowd pleasing music. I mean, it's nice that people like it, but it's more supposed to crush people than to be easy listening for everybody.
Yeah, it's not a supermarket metal.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see here. It's people like me. People said they could hear you, but they can't see you here. So I want to be able.
I don't see myself either.
Okay. Maybe the link that I gave you, are you able to log out of it and re-log in? Maybe it'll show up.
Yeah. Okay. I try.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. So let's see here. I'm sorry about the issues and stuff like that. This is our first time doing
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
split screen. It's cool. It's cool to see all the killer comments about the album for sure. It's been. Oh, here. Okay, here he is again. Let's see if it showed. Okay, we see him. Fuck. I don't hear you though. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. This technology stuff is not working on my side. Yeah. I don't know. All I can say is try to log in one more time, see if it comes in properly, I don't know how it actually works, But anyway, yeah, shit happens, This is live streaming, so I guess it's okay to have things be fucked up, But it would be cool to have Bob be able to be seen and heard. I don't see why that would be such a problem. But we'll see what's up. see here. And am I? Yeah, I don't even. Sorry about that. Everything's kind of crazy, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. Everything's kind of crazy. Well, so while we're waiting for about, oh, here it comes back in. Let's see if we can hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. Awesome. I think people could see you and hear you, so that makes it way more rocking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going through some of the comments. You said you can't see them on your end, correct? But I could show them, I guess, in the window. Let's see. This looks like it might be. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is. Latin America. They want a Latin American tour. I don't know if we'll be touring, but we'll definitely be doing shows. I think, right? You said it's definitely an option. So
it's an option, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that would be great. It'd be great to work that out. I'd be more than happy to do it. I know you guys have another guy that fills in on a couple shows that you did and stuff, which is great too. I'm happy for him, but I definitely look forward to doing it myself sometime. I think it'd be a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I think that will happen in the future anyway.
Yeah, we'll hopefully we'll be able to work it around like a time that I'm over there touring already and be able to do either, a show together, maybe with Incantation, or we could do something before or after the tour, It'd be great.
I mean, if there's a promoter, who can, if you are in Europe, who can book Incantation and Beast in Holland or Germany together, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that definitely is something I'm gonna look into for sure. And even if I have to do it, like I said, after a tour or whatever. I mean, I've been to Holland so many times and I have so many friends here that's it's cool just to hang out and stuff, and then do a gig or something like that would be a blast. Just yeah, it just I don't know what it is about Holland, but I just have so many metal friends over there, so it's always a lot of fun, to hang out over there.
Yeah, absolutely. You have lots of cool places to play. So
let me see. This is saying John subtitles. You can turn on. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on with all this. This, like I said, with this stream. I guess it's streaming okay. But yeah, let's see here. If there's does anybody out there have any questions they're curious about or want to know about? Or I know on the thing I wanted to mention was I know Hell's Headbangers is going to be getting copies of the album. I don't know if they have copies of the album now, but for all the people like in the U.S. and stuff that want to get it, I'm sure you could find it. Because I know Iron. What was it? What's the name of the label again? Iron.
Iron Bonehead.
Yeah, they have done some distribution over here. So we really appreciate if you could actually pick up the actual vinyl or CD version of it. And like I said, I know on my end I'm working on adding that stuff to the Incantation site that we work with Hell's Headbanger on our merch store, so want to get that stuff available to all the people over here, so it's a little easier to get, because these days the postage from Europe to the US is just ridiculous. It's such a problem, so sometimes it people don't want to spend the same price they're paying for the item for postage. It's like doubles everything. It really sucks. It's not like it was in the old days. You used to be able to send stuff to each other fairly cheap. I mean, it's gotten a little bit out of control. Let's let's see here. Is this anything? Cool. Well, yeah, definitely check it out if you're into doomy stuff. I would compare it to I don't know, maybe Old Paradise Lost or Winter or something like that. Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old
It
Paradise
just
Lost, Winter. Yeah. Yeah, and with our own style, I think we have our own edge to it.
well, yeah. There's something in AJ's writing that's distinctively his. I noticed that
Yeah,
when
I think so too.
I first listened to it. I was like, it has a it has the fundamentals from some of the older bands and stuff, like the older Death Doom. But there's, you can tell that I don't know, you can tell he has a distinctive style to his um, writing and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you can hear it's AJ.
yeah, for sure, and I know Daniel's playing in the band now too, correct?
What?
Isn't Daniel playing guitar too? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
he did for the album. He did
Daniel.
one solo.
Yeah, but he's writing newer material, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes,
the newer
yes, new stuff.
new stuff's going to be kind of a mixture between the both. Fuck, I lost your video again.
Yeah, I see it.
uh, um, yeah, I don't fucking know. But anyway, yes, that should be cool to add that element to it too, to give it a little mixture to it, because he kind of has a distinctive style too. You even noticed that with the Asphyx stuff that he did between the stuff, when he was writing more Asphyx riffs to newer Asphyx riffs. You could tell there's a distinctive guitar way of playing that he has. It's just I guess all good songwriters have that. They have something a little distinctive about the sound.
Yeah, absolutely. And Eric is yeah, is making some riffs for Beast as well now. He sent them to AJ, so they can make AJ can make a song of that.
That'll definitely be awesome for sure. I'm sure that
Yeah,
mixture will definitely bring another dimension to the sound.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, let's see here.
I
I
think
got
they are both riff masters.
yeah, and they both. What I like about it is they both have a distinctive sound, so it's kind of cool to mix that together and have something come out. I just know from writing music myself, if I have somebody else that really is a great songwriter, if you work with somebody, you can really come up with some interesting ideas and just yeah, it's a good thing to have that killer collaboration with for a guitar player to have like another guitar player to kind of bounce ideas off of and stuff. It just helps to create a process.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, I think it's pretty obvious, but this one guy here, Patrick, was asking, was it your intention to create a Death Doom album? When did this project start? We already answered that. I guess the band started, what, 3 years ago? And I'm pretty sure from the day one, you guys want to do a Doom band. I mean, you were just saying that, AJ came up to you, said he wanted to do a Doom project. But
Yeah,
I just answer his question because maybe he came into the chat a little bit late. Um, yeah, and just getting assorted, nice comments and stuff. I don't know if you can see the actual comments that are going up or
no, I
not.
cannot see anything.
Okay.
I only see you.
Yeah, I can only see me here too, which is kind of a bummer. But I think I think unless anybody really has any questions, maybe we could just wrap this up because obviously the connection just some reason isn't working out the way I'd prefer it to be. But
We can do it another time when the connection is a little bit better, or we understand the app be live TV a little bit more.
Yeah, we just have to. It's one of those things where you kind of have to do it a couple times to get the, figure out the best way to make it work.
The connection.
Yeah, the connection aspect sucks. I know. Yeah, I know. When we were doing our test last night, we had a couple connection problems. I was hoping that it wouldn't be today, but it's hard to. It's a difficult situation too, because I think a lot of people are streaming over all these different networks now because of this, outbreak crap. So things are extra online. But okay. Well, before I let you go, I just want to double check with anybody if they have any questions at all. Um, anything new or interesting? Looks like no. Looks like yeah. I'm not sure, but I just want to make sure everybody knows that definitely check out the Beast of Revelation fan page and like it so you can keep up to date on the whatever's happening shows or whatever interviews that these guys might do or you know next stuff on album or how to try to get the album. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that Hell's Headbangers has it, and I'm sure other distros here in the States have it. So definitely try to give it a listen to pick it up. I mean, if you're into Death Doom stuff, you're gonna really dig it.
I
I know.
people from South America had it, so.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, well then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should be available if you really want to. Then you can
Yeah.
order it.
Yeah, it's probably.
Like we did in the past. We ordered demos.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure there's a way to get it, and I just know on my end, after hearing the final product, I was really happy with the recording. I think it came out great. AJ did an amazing job mixing it, and just, I mean, I just remember listening to the final mix and being like, holy fuck, that the recording sounds good. I mean, I was just happy with the way my vocals came out in the recording. I was just, everything was really good, and I was really impressed with his I guess it's just his dedication to doing it his way and the way he knows it needs to be done. And he just has the talent, so that's really awesome. So I definitely think anybody out there will be be really happy with it if they're into that style of Death Doom, which for me is probably one of my favorite styles. I just like that total crushing death.
Oh yeah, same here. And I think the doomer you get and the slower you get, the more heavy and harder a band sounds.
Yeah, exactly. It's sometimes the speed thing ends up getting taken a little bit too far, and it started to get to a point where it lost the heaviness in it. I mean, at a certain time, the speed was good as far as like having that aggression to it, but without having the heaviness to it, it just to me it loses context. But
yeah, it's the same here. When you turn down the speed a little bit, then you get a lot more crashing than when you blast 100% flat out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that the fast stuff, it made sense, especially in some of the old grindcore stuff, like the old Napalm Death and bands like that. But
yeah, absolutely.
But I definitely prefer the slower stuff. For me, especially back in the early '90s, late '80s, I really liked a lot of stuff that incorporated Doom, like Nihilist demos, the early Paradise Lost stuff. Just the way that those bands did it was just so many great old school death bands, and a lot of it got passed up. At least in the States, a lot of bands started concentrating more on the speed aspect of it and kind of forgot about the Doom stuff, which to me is a shame, because it's like part of the whole fundamentals of death metal. It's kind of, even within camp.
I mean, it started with Hellhammer and Celtic Frost, the slow, the very heavy slow stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of funny because even within camp, people, are like, act like we're so original because we add these doom parts to our style, but I'm just, to me it seems so natural. It's not like I'm doing anything super innovative. It's just, it's something that at least in our scene in the US sometimes gets passed up a lot, is mixing that, quicker speeds with slow stuff. But oh, AJ said Dark Descent has copies of it too, so that's good for the US because they're one of the better distros, or at least the larger distros here. And also, do you know Scott?
That's good news. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know Scott Carroll from Cyanide? He's checking out the chat. So I know I'll say what's up to you, Scott. Have you heard any of the Cyanide stuff, Bob? I don't know if you know them from Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're really killer band. They kind of have that old Celtic Frost.
They are great. They're classic.
Yeah, killer band. Yeah, I figured you knew him. Yeah, really killer.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Scott from that band is just stopped in the room, so I wanted to say hello to him because he's really cool guy.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great band.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't remember the name of the newest one they did, but man, fuck, it was good. And we did a show with them. We did a couple shows with them. We did one in Central Illinois Metal Fest. I guess it's a while ago now. It must have been over almost 10 years ago. To me, though, 10 years ago sometimes seems like yesterday. But they just kicked ass. They sounded so fucking good. It was just so non-bullshit death metal. It was just killer riffs. I mean, definitely had that Celtic Frost Hellhammer vibe, little Motorhead vibe. But to me, that's perfect. So
yeah, well, that's the best vibe you can have. That's the best combo.
Yeah. So it's definitely. And to me, it's like all the best kind of death metal bands always have those early fundamentals, because without those early fundamentals, I think it's sometimes difficult to do it properly. At least in my opinion. I mean, I'm an old school dude, so for me,
I agree with that. Yeah.
If you have to know where you come from, or where the music comes from and stuff, to do it properly.
I agree totally.
Anyway, before we get done with this, is there anything you want to mention to anybody out there? I know they can't see you, but I think they can still hear you.
Yeah, well, sorry, you can see me, or maybe you're the lucky one who doesn't see me. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you are into very doomy, heavy, crushing death metal, you really should check out the Beast of Revelation album, Ancient Ritual of Death.
Yeah, now
we are very happy with it, the way it came out, and it's one of the most heavy albums I ever played on.
And I wanted to also thank you, because the one song I wrote you used as the title of the album, and I really appreciate that. I was very flattered when I seen that. That was really awesome. And and
that's
I guess
natural. That's normal.
Yeah. I wanted to also, I guess, while I have you here too, just so some of the people checking this stream out, they might not know some of the other bands you played, and if you want to just maybe talk about some other stuff you have coming up too, it might be a good idea.
No, not really. I think we're talking about new stuff for Beast, and that's it. I think.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Okay, well, I guess unless anybody has anything else, let me see. I just want to look a couple of these messages just to make sure there's nothing important to answer here. He said, I guess this guy says that the review for the Beast album on the Metal Archives. I haven't seen it, but he says it's a really killer review, which is awesome. But as you know, the reviews have been really great on it. I don't know. I wasn't.
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't.
agree. I
I
mean,
wasn't. Yeah.
from the 10 reviews, 8 were great, and yeah, 2 yeah didn't understand or music or expected some up tempos or some polkas, but that's not what we are about.
Yeah. Well, I think it's what was it? Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I mean, I knew the stuff was great, but I didn't know that the reaction was going to be so good for it, you know? I mean, it's because a lot of times, honestly, if I like it, other people usually don't.
Yeah,
So,
well, same here. They always say, what's that crap?"
so basically, it's really nice though. It's always nice to, you know, see something that we worked so hard on to do, is getting such a good response. I'm just, definitely want to, mention, like I said, just check it out if you're into this style. I think it's, yeah, I think it's not going to disappoint if you're into that old school Death Doom. But let me just, like I said, I want to just double check again on some of these comments. Just make sure that everything, is answered or whatever. If there's anything important. Will Hell's Headbangers have it? I think they do have it, and if they don't, probably within a couple weeks. I just worked out something, worked out to get some Beast Revelation stuff in the Incan part of the store, and they probably have it though in the Hell's Headbangers part too. Let's see. You can't wait to hear new stuff. Yeah, I can't wait to hear new stuff too. I think it's going to be awesome. And I was happy to hear that you guys are already kind of started the wheels turning for another album, which is totally killer.
Yeah, we try to make it even more heavy.
That's good. Let's just we just gotta use this as the beginning. The beginning of heaviness. We gotta just keep digging deeper, more barbaric.
Yeah, absolutely. This was the foundation, and then we start building things up.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I know I'm confident that's going to be it's going to be killer, and I'm gonna try even next time to even make the vocals more sicker if I can. Try to put some of that old agony, as much agony in those vocals as possible to fit that agonizing doom.
Oh, excellent! Yeah.
But
start writing right this evening.
Oh, really? Awesome.
No. But soon.
Yeah. Well,
I saw AJ's working on some stuff already, so.
Yeah, that's killer. I definitely can't wait to check it out. And AJ really is a great guy too, and I really appreciate him, giving me the opportunity. I mean, I know it's all you got, you and AJ, but AJ's became a good friend after doing some touring. He was roading for us, and he's a really, really cool guy, and I really respect him. And he's one of the people in the the Dutch scene that I think doesn't get as much credit for how important he was in the scene. That happens all the time. There's people that have been an important part of the scene wherever, and there's certain ones that get more popular and people know about, and there's people like AJ, which has been part of the scene for a long time, that kind of people don't look at as an important part, but really the true people from the Netherlands knows that AJ is kind of legendary, or legendary.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
So it's really great, and of course it's really fun for me to be able to jam with you, Bob, too. Being a friend and Asphyx fan, and ever since we started to communicate more, it's been a pleasure working with you. From the Asphyx Death the Brutal Way, which was an amazing album. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to release that on Ibex Moon Records too. That was one of the high moments. When Juanes contacted me, I actually couldn't believe that an album that good was passed up by Century Media. I just was like, are they on crack? It was
yeah, maybe I don't know.
It was such a good album. And Juanes is like, contacting me because, you guys can't find, or couldn't, they didn't want to release it. And I'm just like,
In fact, that album was only a demo.
oh,
It
really?
turned out to be an album after all.
Well, man, that album sounds great. That album, it really does. I mean, I'm a fan of Asphyx in general, but that one, I just remember hearing it for the first time when I think Juanes sent me the copy. I can't remember how I got it, but I just remember being like, "Fuck, this is a fucking killer album." It's like it just certain albums when you hear it, you feel there's something special about it, And I just couldn't understand how Century Media could pass up on it. I mean, you just hear it and it sounds fucking great. And I was just like, of course I'm going to release this. I mean, be retarded not to, I mean, and
it turned out to be pretty okay, but it was just a rehearsal album, more of a demo for Central Media, a tryout for us.
Really,
it was recorded in a living room.
Well, it sounds pretty.
Yeah, hope I didn't spoil things.
No, it even makes it.
Yeah, it was pretty metal. Yeah, well, we had some beers with it, so.
Yeah, well, definitely it was an amazing sounding album, and yeah, but and that was really the first time I got to hang out with you guys and stuff like that. Of course, I knew about you guys, and I've known some of the guys in the Asphyx camp for a while and stuff. But it's been an absolute pleasure working with you, and I definitely look forward to
Same here. Out. It's a pleasure working with you. So it's a great combi.
Yeah, hell yeah, and I'm really looking forward to the new material, and even more. I really want to play out live. I want to play out live with you guys, or us, I guess, real bad, because it'll be so much fun to just, be able to, do just vocals, kind of front the band kind of thing. It just, for me, it'll be a lot of fun, a totally different dynamic than I do with Incan, which is great,
Well, Martin did the same with Asphyx. He did not play the bass anymore and just fronted the band without an instrument.
Yeah, well, I think and sometimes that works out better, because I mean, a couple of times even live with Incan, if I break a string like halfway through a song or something, I'll just do the vocals just for the song and just wait until the end of the song, and hopefully my guitar gets stringed up, or else I string it up quick. But it's funny because sometimes just doing vocals, it's just a lot more fun. You can put a little more into it. I mean, it's great to be able to play in vocals too, but there's something special about being able to just put everything vocally, because no matter how you slice,
more mesmerizing, I think.
Yeah, when you play instrument and do vocals, no matter how hard you try, you can't put 100% into both because you're split into two. Especially for a guitar player, I think it could be for a drummer too. If you do like a complicated part, it's like you're concentrating on the guitar.
I hear you. Yeah. I don't play guitar, but luckily, but
yeah. But I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, it makes sense. But so I'm really looking forward to it. So I hope that works out. I'm sure it will.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it does. And it will work out.
Yeah, I'm definitely into it. Like I said, once this coronavirus crap gets done with, I know 100% touring stuff, one way or another, we'll try to work something out. I mean, it doesn't matter to me, if it's a small, big show, small show, fest, or whatever. It's for me, it's going to be just fun to do it. It'll be just a blast to do it, and it's more.
I think people want to see it too. So
yeah. I think
any bookers outside. Well, here's a chance.
yeah, exactly. And it'd be great to try to do something in the U.S. Maybe another MDF or something like that, or one of the other fests we have over here. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that should be great.
I guess maybe I should contact those guys, see what's up. I know that Asphyx guys are really good with them, but I know Ryan and Evan pretty well. So I'll have to bring that up. That would be sick. That'd
Yeah,
be killer.
if that could be possible. I mean, I've been there twice, and it was great. So
Yeah, I mean that's one of the still one of the most important and biggest fest here in the States. And we have other ones now that are starting, which are also good. But you know, the Maryland Death Fest is yeah, still I still think it's one of the best fest here in the States. And those guys, Evan and Ryan, I think you know, they I give them a lot of credit because they do something that, especially at the time they were starting, it was not the best time for death metal. So the fact that they do it now and it does really good, I'm extra happy for them because they were doing the fest early on in the early 2000s when death metal was pretty much you know
that,
dead. Yeah, it was.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It was a terrible time for death metal. So and
yeah, it
that's
was that Slipknot kind of times.
yeah, it was like that. Yeah, a lot of that symphonic stuff. The
Yeah,
the power metal bands are trying to rip off Halloween or something. Those kind of bands.
yeah,
Just
and never succeeded.
yeah. I know. I always thought that was. I never
Maybe in a
understood.
commercial way, but
Yeah. No, I hear you. Nothing. None of those bands compared to the old Halloween stuff. But it does.
Walter Jericho is still great.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I know. That's an amazing album. It
Yeah.
just. It was just weird because yeah, at that time I remember like how come all these bands are like all of a sudden wanting to do this Halloween cover band. It was a weird fucking time in metal for me because it was like either that or you had like this new metal stuff going on, or like this
Oh,
super symphonic thing going on, like Demi Borgir thing where you have like whole orchestra with the you know black metal stuff.
oh yeah,
Just a
that crap.
strange
Oh,
time, wasn't
yeah.
my cup of tea.
Or Corpilani or that kind of stupidness.
Yeah, yeah, it's a lot of it's yeah, I don't get it. I can't. I guess I'm just an
No,
old
me,
school
me
metal.
neither. I mean, if that was the future of metal, then I'm out.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice though. It's nice to know that that trend. I mean, that trend. There's still bands doing all these weird styles and stuff, but it's still nice that what 35 years into you know death metal's creation, that there's still an appreciation for just that old school barbaric death metal sound. Like
Yeah,
it's just nice because I never knew if that at the time you don't know if anyone's ever going to give a crap about that again, and it's nice to see that there is a newer generation of bands that are giving a crap about that stuff, which is nice.
yeah. They kind of rediscovering the old stuff, where it all started, and what came next, and the real essence of death metal.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's important. I mean, even regardless of what style of death metal you play, I still think you have to have your fundamentals. I mean, I know as a metal fan in general, I always would do my homework and try to understand, each band I liked and try to know as much about them and try to find out where maybe they got their influences from. I just, it was a big puzzle that I remember when being younger, I wanted to put together on how this music kind of came together and stuff. And it just, for me, I just looked at it as a good fundamental, for,
Yeah.
what I do and stuff like that. I mean, I think it was common for us old school fuckers, before the internet and all that stuff, where you just have to, either buy magazines or just go to the record store and look at stuff and pay attention to either
Or
what your
or when you
people are.
got Slayer magazine from Joe Metallian, and there
Yeah,
was a review. This band is influenced by Possessed, Celtic Frost, Hellhammer, Phantom, Battery, and it was like, well, you
yeah,
bought it instantly.
yeah, exactly. It was actually kind of funny because back then I would know like if a certain magazine or a fanzine or something had a good review on something, you knew that that was something that you had to check out. But at the same time, there were some people that I knew if they liked it, I would hate it. So I would,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'd be like, oh fuck, he likes this band. Maybe I'll pass on that.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but if a bigger magazine like Aardschok back in the days
yeah,
give an album a one, that's almost a zero, then I
yeah,
knew I would like it. Like the first Sepultura, Morbid Visions, got a one. Sodom in the Sign of Evil got also a one or a two. So we were like, yeah, that's stuff for us.
yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. We used to do that with like even Metal Maniacs when it first came out. If your band got a bad review in there, you knew that okay, good things are going good, or you know, yeah.
Yeah.
If it got a good review, you
Oh, the
know,
Metal Maniacs. Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah. If it got like a good review, you'd be like, oh, I don't know about that. That's probably sucks or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
But
I think the rec got a pretty good review in the
what's
Metal
that?
Maniacs. I think the rec from Asphyx back in the day got a pretty good review, I think.
Yeah. Well, there were a few people that reviewed stuff in there that were, you could trust. It was just like I just used to know.
Mhm.
I don't remember the different editors now, but back then I used to know the editors, and I'd find out what they liked or whatever. I'd see the reviews, and if it matched up with mine,
Yeah,
I'd know. Okay, listen to this one or I don't.
but it doesn't say anything. I mean, when some death metal or metal bands got a good review, and you looked at the backside of a big magazine, and there was a big full color ad of that record company,
You know
and
why?
their albums got CD of the month. Well, you know enough.
Yeah, I know.
Money talks.
Yeah, of course. I've seen that a lot in a lot of magazines. It's like, yeah, the whoever's spending the most amount of money on ads gets the good review, which is just
Yeah,
it's just it's just lame. It's
yeah,
lame
it is.
that. I mean, a band should get credit regardless of how much money the labels put in behind it.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But
But yeah,
unfortunately,
like I said, money talks, and that was the dark side of the business a bit.
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's strange actually because the way the scene is now, it's 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 different where I don't think the record companies have quite as much control over pushing bands quite as much. There's a little more
Yeah,
fan buzz, but at the same time, there's just an overflood of bands now that so many bands are releasing stuff or whatever, and there's no, I don't know, it's just a difficult situation, I think, because
more
the
bands
old,
than fans.
yeah, the old way it was beneficial in some ways, but the new way is beneficial in some ways. But they both have their good and bad, I guess. You just kind of go with it. But for me, as far as metal and the scene and stuff like that, for me, there's nothing like the days of fanzines and demo trading and stuff like that. Back
Yeah,
then when you got a record contract, it was like a super big deal. It wasn't like now where it's pretty easy to get
it
something.
really meant something.
Yeah, back then it was like, yeah, it was not everyone was getting signed, and yeah, I mean to get on Century Media, or even for us to getting on Relapsed or like a band like Immolation when they signed to Roadrunner, it was just like, you know, I was so happy
Yeah,
because back then I looked at it like these are like our generation bands. Like it's kind of when one of the bands from our scene would get signed, it was like we were all proud of them and we're all happy for them because we knew how much of a difficult task that was and how it opens up doors for everybody, in the scene back then. So
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, it's definitely a different vibe. I mean, I remember even when Left Hand Path, came out, I was just so happy.
yeah,
I was so proud of the Entomb guys and stuff. It was like, I felt like it was like a win for me too. It wasn't just a win for Entombed. It was a win for like the scene, we'll say, because
yeah.
yeah,
For the scene, absolutely. Yeah,
yeah, when any of that stuff, any bands from that old demo era came out on vinyl, it was just like, yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, it was like one of
yeah.
us.
But everybody knew each other. I mean, we also knew the Nihilist guys from the
Of
first
course,
demo already.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. We all used to do so much corresponding back then. It's crazy because it's weird with the internet now. You would think it's easier to get in touch, but I think less bands know each other now than back then when you used to actually,
Yeah,
write pen and paper. Like I knew bands all over the freaking world, and it's just, band, like, a lot of those bands, a lot of like those early Earache signings and Century Media signings. It's like almost all those bands I knew, I wrote to, so it's just, and
yeah, same here. Yeah,
it's kind of like, it almost means more when they get signed because you're just like, fuck yeah, what Grave, got signed Century Media was like, holy fuck, that's so awesome that, they got signed. It's just a different vibe. I wish I could even explain it. It's hard to even explain it properly unless you were there, so hopefully everyone that's listening
yeah,
to us,
like you said, unless you were there. Yeah, and
it's,
luckily we were.
yeah, just very fortunate, and it was amazing times. But like I said, I am happy that this kind of stuff is still interesting to people so many years later. And who would have thought like any of our really early material, would really be considered such an important part of the scene, like early Asphyx albums. I mean, they were great albums and stuff, but it's just nice to see now that these albums are held in kind of legendary status and stuff. It's really awesome to see that because I know at the time, at least for me, the last thing I was concerned about was legendary status of an album. I was just like, we just want to do something, do it our way, and tell the world to fuck off.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, do your own thing, and yeah,
Yeah, and
get
that's
on with
was
everybody. I mean, it was anti everything,
yeah,
and
exactly.
suddenly it became cult. Yeah, I mean, you made some cult albums too. Onward to Golgotha is a classic.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's always humbling though to you know that something that you did meant a lot to people, throughout the years, stuff like that. Because, like I said, you never think of it at the time, and you don't, you know, yeah, it's just always a nice thing. It's a nice. I mean, it doesn't change anything, but it's just a nice little accomplishment. You'd be like, God, it's really cool. It's cool that you know us old school fucks from back then actually made a
yeah.
impactful dent in the music scene. You know, starting just from like
Yeah, you made you made a statement, but
yeah,
that you didn't know that at the time. You were happy. You got your debut album out on a good label, and you did some tours, and that's it. But then 15 years later, it seems it had an impact on the scene somehow.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy because you don't always notice it while it's happening. I guess.
No, I mean with when we did the rec, it was recorded in our rehearsal room on 8 tracks only,
Oh,
and that's
really?
it. And it only
Oh,
costed like $1,500, and that's it. And I know Central Media was not happy with it. They said, it sounds awful and blah blah blah, and we were like, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, just release it. And in the end, it sold more than 100,000 copies.
really? It sold that well? That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah, but it was in a good in a good time.
Yeah, yeah. But I thought that album was great. I was really I really like the Rack a lot. That's. I mean, I like all the stuff pretty much, but the Rack, yeah, Rack's definitely one of the highlights. Has some great songs on it, and I thought it was a really
Yeah,
great one. I mean, it had the guitars were really chunky on that album. Had a good vibe, and what's his
yeah.
name?
It was recorded live in the studio
Yeah,
at full power.
awesome. That's killer. Yeah, and it
Well,
was
not
like,
in the studio, in our rehearsal room.
yeah.
But
Plus,
yeah, for me, I'm not too happy with the drums. I mean, they were mixed because we only had 8 tracks on the same track as the bass guitar. And when
oh,
I said, "Can you turn up the bass drums a little bit more?" The engineer, said like, I cannot do it because then the bass gets louder too. I said, no, I only want the bass drums a little bit louder. And he said, yeah, but I already made a mix and I put them on one track only. I was like, oh no, fuck this. But yeah, well, what can you do?
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, back then though, that was a real issue with recording. I mean, I've had that same problem where it's like you get that drum mix on the recording and that's how it's going to be. You can't really fuck with it too much. Now you could fuck with everything. Right now you could probably pull those kick drums off that track, but back then it was like when it was all put on one track like that, it's like I hope you're happy with it. That's the way it's sounding, you know.
Yeah, well, I was not happy, but well,
Well, the drummer always has it probably the toughest because there's so many parts to the drum set, and you know, like a guitar, you kind of it has like a certain level where it's always at. The drums are a lot more dynamic, I think, so it's always
yeah.
difficult for a drummer, especially back then. I mean, I remember recording, some stuff even with Jim Rowe and Kyle, where we had to actually we did it on each at its individual track, but we had to like play the drum kit on the mixing board. Like if there was a drum fill or whatever, we'd have to make sure each note of the drum fill was at the proper level, and we'd have to do it like as it's recording to the version you hear on the album. So you're actually like you're playing the mixing board while getting that master tape, and it was a pain in the ass because if you went to the end and you fuck something up, you have to decide: do we keep it or do we do the whole song again? So yeah, those it's
Oh yeah,
definitely
redo
much
the
different
whole
time.
song. That really sucked. That really sucked.
Yeah,
I mean, we had to do it with the last one on Earth. I mean, that has a great production because then
yeah,
we had 16 tracks, so we could separate everything. But then
yeah,
we kind of fucked up Food for the Ignorant, and but the fight was very good. So
yeah,
Harry, the engineer, told us like, yeah, well, the middle part is not too. I mean, you are going that way, Eric is going that way. Can you redo the song? It was like, no, never. I mean, I'm happy with the five, so we keep it. Yeah, but it has a fault in it. Yeah, well, fuck it. Just
yeah,
put on some kind of effect on it, and that's it.
yeah. That's funny, but yeah, I totally remember those times. Total blast, it was stressful, but there was something about it that gave it extra personality because now it's so difficult with recording. It's so easy to fix things, and it's too tempting to do it. Back then, it was more like, you just do. You have to make a decision: is it worth it to redo, or is it not worth it to redo? Or are you going to be able to do it better next time? Because sometimes it'd be like, if you record over it and you fuck it up worse, then you're stuck with another crappy version of it. It just was
Yeah,
there was a lot more consequences to your studio time back in the day than it is now. Now it seems like they can fix anything. If there's a little error in the song, you just tell the engineer and they seem to be able to fix it like nothing.
yeah, but back in the day when you had to redo a song, it also costs a lot of studio money, studio time,
Yeah, I know, that's
which
true.
means less and less budget for yeah, every time you redid a song.
Yeah, I know. That's definitely yeah, we've had that problem before too. We went way over budget on our second album, The Mortal Throne Nazarene. It was
Yeah,
just it was a bad studio. The whole experience in the studio was just really bad, and yeah, it was just crazy, just throwing money away like crazy on that album. You know, yeah, it was such a
but
bummer. I'm
it
happy
did
that it
sound
came
great.
out.
So
I'm happy with the
I
way it
can't
came
hear
out.
it.
Yeah, well, that's because we spent so much time fixing things, redoing things. And there's still things that are fucked up on it, but it's the way it goes. Back then, you just had to make do with what you wanted. But for myself, I didn't know enough about production album wise,
No,
so
me neither.
I didn't really know even how to make it sound good. I knew I wanted it to sound brutal and evil and heavy, but I didn't really. The guy in the studio is like, "What does that mean?" you know,
Well,
I
I
used
always said make it as loud as possible, and that's it. So
to,
Phantom
yeah.
Motorhead volume.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I know. I remember though bringing in like some classic albums and just telling you kind of want it like this and kind of want it like that, but it never came out like those ones. And I guess it's in a way it was good because it has its own unique sound to it. But um, yeah, it's just weird. Back then was a tough time, but it was a great time too. You learned a lot, and you definitely like you just learn a lot about recording, and you appreciate the recording a lot more because you know it's not so easy. You know, like I said, now it's so much easier to record. It's easier to record and it's easier to fix things up. Back then, it was like, you know, you had that awesome personality of a fuck up, and sometimes you keep it on the album and it sounds good, you know, or people don't even notice it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you know, everyone notices their own problems and everything, and other people don't really notice it, you know.
No, I mean, you listen to your own album in a very different way. You hear your fuck ups and stuff, but somebody else is saying, "Wow, this sounds great," and you are thinking, "What? Are you deaf?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's just the way it goes though, because you played it, you know how it's supposed to be, and when you have that fuck up or it sounds weird, it bothers you because you're the creator. But yeah, other people they only hear it at that one way, so for them it's right. It's right. But yeah, it always sounds. It's always a weird thing, you know. Even now to
It's
this
like we
day,
all love the old Venom albums, but it's full of fuck ups, probably.
yeah, 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 and it's some of the best the best music out there. I mean,
Oh, yeah, the very best. With
those
the,
those
with the old battery stuff, Venom is number one.
Yeah, I know, what's great about it is it doesn't have that nice polished production and all that stuff. It was all raw. There's some fuck ups in there, but that's what made gave it its personality. You know, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that actually is missing a little bit in music today is with digital music. It's so easy to fix it that you're never going to have another album that's going to be as authentic as Welcome to Hell or War with Satan or something
Yeah.
like that. You know, just there's bands that are going to want to copy it, but no one's going to do it as authentic as Venom did. You know, Venom just went in the studio and just like probably just being assholes, just going for it, trying to make it as crazy as possible, and you know, yeah, an album
Yeah,
that's like,
and that's it. It's full of feeling. And today
yeah,
you can redo things behind the computer, and the feeling gets more and more lost each time you change things.
I know, I know. It's yeah, there's that's what I think. I think that's what happened in the death metal scene is that there's been so many bands that were overproducing and making super technical stuff that people kind of started listening to the old stuff and heard like, fuck, there's something different about these, you know. But it was because they had personality in those albums because they were everything was really played. You know, if there was a fuck up, like I said, it would sometimes be there, or if things weren't played 100% perfectly, you know, that just added to it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I notice it. I mean, for me, you know, I mean, I'm not against new music. I mean, yeah, if a new band comes out and it's killer, that's great. But for me, it's like I just love hearing those mostly '80s and early '90s recordings, you know,
Oh
of
yeah,
metal
same
bands.
here.
It just has a personality that, you know, even bands that try to copy it don't. It's still not the same. You know, it's like I
No,
don't think
it's just a copy. I mean, if I'm honest, the whole thing kind of ended with me in 1992 after the second Deicide album, Legion. That was the last album I was impressed with.
yeah, yeah. I yeah, I mean, I I could agree that probably most of my stuff I listen to is probably 92 back. I mean, there's stuff that's after that that I still think is good, but that is to me that's the golden era of especially for death metal is somewhere between like I don't know 85 to 92 or something like that, 93
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
you know, because yeah, I think once the whole Pro Tools thing started getting popular and bands started like really starting to utilize that stuff too much in death metal. To me, it started to go down, go downhill with the feeling of it. It's like it would have. I mean, there's some good albums. I mean, I like Morbid Angel's Covenant and stuff like that. But I do, those albums are
Oh yeah.
super well produced. But the thing that's different, I think, about a band like that is that like Pete is such an amazing drummer. So like those drums, even though they're, I don't know how much process they were in the studio. When you watch him play live, he pulls it off, perfectly or
Yeah, you
whatnot.
did. Yeah.
But there was a lot of bands that would go in the studio that couldn't play and get everything totally fixed up to sound like superhuman, and then you watch them play live, and they couldn't keep up with that speed and tempo and stuff like that. And that, to me, that was just real lame, Not that they,
Fake.
yeah, I mean, I understand that everyone is perfect on everything, but you don't want to have an album where the music and the drums are just totally manipulated in the studio and you can't even play it as a band that way. Then
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know
then the engineer, the technical guy, he was then the musician at that time. He was a drummer, he was a guitarist.
yeah, exactly. It's yeah. So I guess bottom line is yeah, it was nice. We were fortunate enough to be in that era of you know real tape recording of stuff, not the digital world, even though I know all bands pretty much record digitally now, just because of you know the money and
The
that
cost.
saves so much
Yeah,
money, and the music industry isn't what it used to be, so you can't afford those going to a real studio or anything anymore. It just isn't.
no.
It's a different world. But
Yeah, I understand it, but I think, well, if a band goes into the studio and play their album live and don't try to fix too many things, it will sound better in the end, I think.
yeah, I agree. Well, yeah, there's nothing better than going into the practice room, practicing the songs as a band, kicking ass, really getting to know the songs, and then going in the studio and bashing it out, like you would play a live show or something, like that kind of vibe. 'Cause that's always, to me, it's
Exactly.
always
Yeah.
the best. Sometimes when you overanalyze the stuff too much, it could really deaden the, and make the sound just not sound lively or whatnot. But yeah. So anyway, I think that's it for now. I've been doing this for about over an hour now, so I think we're okay. And I want to thank you very much for doing this with me, Bob. It was really cool to have you. I'm sorry that the video and stuff is a little bit funky and a couple problems, but we're still able to chat, so that's killer. And yeah, so I guess just the bottom line for this is, don't be a poser. Check out the Beast of Revelation album. Like their Facebook fan page, and hopefully we're gonna do some live shows, pick up the album, and we're gonna work on another album. We're gonna make sure that you know we kick your ass and we just bring the fucking total doom to you. We'll do, doom the fuck out of you. Are you there still? Nope, I lost them. Okay, well, anyway, we'll see you, and take care, everybody. You know what? There were a couple of questions I think I had for Incant stuff that might as well do while I'm here. What's this here? Um, okay, well, I mean, obviously, new metal's not my thing. It never was. I really, really don't like that style. I really don't like it. I don't think that should be anything surprising to anybody. And what's this? Well, let's see. Wait. Well, like we were talking with, I was talking just earlier with, Bob. It's just there was just a feeling and essence with that old school stuff that was really really awesome and important. So to me, that old school vibes are always important. It's just part of my DNA as a player. And I think a lot of the younger generation are really understanding that there was something special about those, old recordings and stuff. And yeah, but all of us, we have to live in the time we live in, and we do, albums the best way we can now to sound as good as possible. Let's see here. When will new album come out? Okay, well, new album will come out sometime. I don't know, sometime this year. I know that, but we don't have the actual date set. I think there's going to be an announcement sometime in June for that. But yeah, we've been working at it, trying to get things done. The virus thing kind of screwed things up a little bit, so it happens. Let me see here. Sorry about that. I'm just reading some of these. We got a bunch of people asking questions. This one's probably the After Party Massacre movie. That's really a question to ask more for Kyle, because Kyle was really intimately involved in it. I helped out more with doing the CD for it and stuff like that. But as far as at that time, I felt really uncomfortable doing any of the movie acting kind of stuff, so I didn't really do it. But that was definitely one you should save for Kyle next time he is doing one of these streams. He could definitely talk more about that, because him and Christoph, man, they did a lot of work with that. Those guys put in a lot of work. It was a fun time, though. I mean, I was there for some of the live footage, and it was really awkward to play the live footage, pseudo live, but it was fun too. It was a good thing, and it was a fun experience for all of us. Let me see here. Alex really asked a lot of times about my experience with After Party Massacre. Yeah, of course, Jason. Of course, I remember you. I mean, I played. You helped out Revenant at shows, so it'd be really lame if I was like, "Oh fuck, who's this guy?" No, it was great. I had such great times hanging out in like the Demarest area where Joe Vigenti was from. And yeah, I still have that Hodgepodge demo, and it was a couple of years back. I jammed it out again. It's just kind of fun to remember those old times. I seen a post too you made about the China Club in New Jersey. That was a great place. It was such a I used to go there every weekend, even though most of the bands were like really cheesy poser bands. It was still so much fun to go there. Such a great time in the metal scene, and yeah, I definitely hope to see you next time out in the New York area, Jason, because I miss all you guys. I had such great times back in the old Revenant days. So much fun. It's an absolute blast. Have I ever recorded with Erik Rutan? No, I never did. Not really. I mean, I think if we lived closer to him, because he lives in Tampa now. I mean, I knew him since he was in New Jersey, but if I lived closer to him and the situation came up, I would definitely wouldn't be opposed to it. But we really like working now with Dan Swano on a recording, so there's no reason really to work with Erik Rutan. But I mean, he's an amazing guitar player, amazing songwriter, and of course, amazing producer too. I mean, he did some great albums. I think some of the Cannibal albums, he like Kill, was really great sound. He did a bunch of great stuff, really killer. Yeah, hello, UK, Birmingham. That's the home of and the birthplace of heavy metal. Let's see here. Let's see. There's a couple more questions that are just in can related. Um, yeah, I look forward to seeing the guitar finish too. I mean, we were working at it. We had a little bit of delay because of the virus stuff, but things are starting to come together. It's pretty cool. I mean, the necks coming together, cool. The ideas that we have are pretty awesome. So I'm super excited. I'm sure. I'm sure it's going to be a monster of a guitar once that gets all done. I look forward to playing it live. So yeah, definitely killer. We see here. And this is from AJ. This is the mastermind of Beast of Revelation. Um, yeah, I definitely can't wait to do another album too. Like I said, I really want to do some live shows and record another album with you guys. I'm sure it'll be great. And I'm sure you know the way the lineup's coming together with the band, it's just going to get better and better. The songs and stuff. But I'm really happy. I think you did an amazing job with the production and stuff too. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to play in the band. Let's see here. Any more questions? It looks like I probably can get going. Any about when we, as far as Buffalo, New York, I have no idea when we're going to play there again, but I definitely want to. I mean, last time we played there was a good show, and I think it'll just be killer. But last time we hit there, I don't know. I think, fuck, yeah, it was weird. All the tours that we did recently, none of them hit Buffalo or Rochester area. Really sucks. I don't know why. Maybe there's a promoter problem in Buffalo. I'm not really sure, but that would be really great to play Buffalo. I know we had an offer to play Buffalo, so I hope that goes through. But with this virus stuff, kind of fucked everything up for this year. So once it's done with, we'll hopefully get more rocking. Let me see. Okay. Any favorite black metal? Well, obviously I like the really old stuff. The creators like Venom and Bathory and stuff of that era. Then I like the A Blaze in Northern Sky album a lot. I think that's good. I like Immortals Pure Holocaust. It's really good. And even was it the in the Battles in the North is a good one too. I'm not super big on a lot of black metal, but I do like. I mean, I like Mayhem. The Mysterious is really good. The what was it? What was the first one with the arms hanging down? Can't think of it now. It's too much on the spot, but that was a really good one too. I mean, I like black metal. I'm not super huge black metal fan, but some of the black metal is really fucking good. Some of the black metal, I don't know. It sounds fucking retarded when I say it that way. But I really like old Bathory though. Like everything up to like Undersigned of Black Mark was really good. The one I did after it, so I don't like that one. So some of the fourth one's a little bit cheesy, but it's still okay. And let's see. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Jason. I mean, I understand as a band member or a musician or a producer, you want everything to be perfect and like exactly 100% the way it's supposed to be. But sometimes just having that live vibe is just so fucking amazing, and it just makes it so much better. Because metal is so much better when it's played live anyway. So I think to get that feeling on the album, I mean, as a kid, I mean, I really liked Kiss Alive and Kiss Alive 2. I think I like those albums more than their studio albums in a way because it just had an extra real aggression to it. It didn't have that sterileness of the studio, and that happens a lot now with digital productions, make it even more sterile. But anyway, I'll be going now. So thank you very much for checking us out. I hope we didn't bore the crap out of you.